You know how sometimes a phrase just gets stuck in your head? It kind of shows up out of nowhere, super quiet, but then it just refuses to leave? Well, we're going to dive into one of those phrases today, and trust me, it's a powerful one. From a piece by Thaddeus Mitchell.
So, here's the phrase as it first appears. I plead an innocence plight. I mean, you can almost feel the raw honesty there, right? It's simple, it's a declaration. But something's off. It's like it's not the whole story. A really, really important piece is missing.
Yeah, without that full context, the phrase just kind of hangs there. It's true, it feels sincere, but it's missing the weight, you know? It doesn't have the gravity of whatever situation made someone say this. It's definitely an incomplete story.
Okay, and here it is, the whole thing. I plead an innocence plight, under duress. Wow. See? Those last two words, they change everything. They're not just tacked on at the end. They completely reframe the entire sentence. It goes from being just a plea to this huge statement about the environment it was set in.
So that brings up the big question, what exactly is duress in this context? We're not talking about, someone holding a gun to your head. No. This is about a psychological environment, a kind of atmosphere that completely changes the rules of communication. Let's really dig into what that feels like. Okay, so the core idea here is this. Your words stop being something you give freely in a conversation. Instead, it feels like they're being pulled out of you, extracted. There's this specific kind of pressure that makes being real and honest pretty much impossible. So what does that environment actually look like? Well, for starters, if you're silent, you're suddenly suspicious. If you try to set a simple boundary, oh, now you're being defiant. All of a sudden, being honest feels dangerous. Because explaining yourself isn't about getting someone to understand you anymore. It feels like you're just reading lines in a play where the ending, the verdict, has already been decided.
And this is the real gut punch. See, in any healthy situation, being sincere, being honest, that's your protection, right? That's your shield. But under duress, it becomes your biggest weakness, your vulnerability. The very act of trying to be open and genuine gets turned into a weapon against you, and you're left just completely exposed.
All right, so if duress completely changes the environment, it makes sense that it also forces us to rethink what innocence even means. Because the kind of innocence we're talking about here, it's probably not what you're thinking.
This comparison just lays it all out so perfectly. What it isn't is a claim of purity or naivete. It's not about being ignorant. What it is about intent. It's the innocence of walking into a situation without any armor on, just assuming that the other person is also there in good faith. You know that feeling? It's that trust you give someone before you've learned you need to be scared.
Okay, so what happens when you take that kind of innocent, open trust and put it under the intense pressure of duress? Well, it doesn't just poof, disappear. The change, the transformation, is way more complicated than that.
It's definitely not like flipping a switch from trust to no trust. No, the whole process is messy. It's painful.
It fractures, it breaks apart, and the pieces that are left behind, they don't just go away. They reform into something harder, something more rigid. It's like it learns a whole new set of survival rules based on that really harsh lesson.
Now, you'd think that after going through something like this, a person would come out of it, louder, angry, shouting, ready for a fight. But that's not what happens here.
Instead, you come out clearer. And this is so important. The result isn't about volume at all. It's about vision. It's a brand new kind of clarity, this sharp, undeniable focus on the world and the people in it.
And this newfound clarity, it's super specific. You suddenly see with crystal clear focus who didn't want a conversation. They just wanted you to comply. You see exactly who is benefiting from your self-doubt. And maybe most importantly, you learn to recognize instantly which environments, which rooms are going to require you to defend your own humanity.
Okay, so once we understand all that, we can finally get to the real purpose of this plea. Why say it in the first place? And I'll tell you, it's probably not what you think. It's so important that we get this right. When someone says, I plead an innocence plight under duress, it is not them giving up. It's not an apology. It's not them begging to be forgiven. It's something else, something completely different. And here's that crucial shift. This isn't a defense, it's a record. It's not a confession that's been squeezed out of someone. It's a moment of real, honest reflection. It's not about dodging accountability. It's about establishing the truth of what happened. It's a plea to be accurate more than anything else.
So,
When you think of it as a record, it does three really important things. 1, it documents the pressure. It puts it on the books. 2, it acknowledges that there was a power imbalance. And 3, it states, for the record, that the story being told, the framing of the whole thing, wasn't something you chose. It was forced on you.
Which really brings us to the final and maybe most essential question of all. Why does this accuracy matter so much? Why is it so important to draw that line in the sand between begging for forgiveness and demanding an accurate record? Because that's the whole point. This isn't just about setting the record straight for other people. It's an act of reclaiming yourself. Think about it. When someone else uses pressure and power to write your story, to define who you are, accuracy becomes the tool you use to take back control of the narrative. It's how you find your own voice again, especially after they tried to narrate you into silence.